In 1987, a new Star Trek crew took us on a journey beyond the stars. Captain Picard, Data, Worf, and the rest of the Enterprise D became legends. But where are they now, in 2025? Let's take a trip through time and see how the cast of Star Trek: The Next Generation has changed over the years. Back in Star Trek: The Next Generation, Patrick Stewart played Captain Jean-Luc Picard, the wise and fearless leader of the USS Enterprise D. Born in 1940, Stewart was 47 when the show began in 1987. His commanding presence and Shakespearean background made Picard one of the most beloved captains in Star Trek history. After TNG, Stewart found success in theater and film, most notably as Professor X in the X-Men movies. In 2020, he returned to the Star Trek universe in Star Trek: Picard. Now, at 85 years old in 2025, Stewart continues acting and remains an icon in sci-fi history. Jonathan Frakes brought charm and leadership to Star Trek: The Next Generation as Commander William Riker, the trusted first officer of the USS Enterprise D. Born in 1952, he was 35 when the show started in 1987. His character grew from a bold young officer to a seasoned leader, eventually becoming captain of the USS Titan. After The Next Generation, Frakes became a successful director, helming episodes of Star Trek series and films, as well as shows like The Orville and Discovery. In 2025, at 73 years old, he continues directing and occasionally reprises his role as Riker in Star Trek: Picard and other projects. LeVar Burton played Lieutenant Geordi LaForge, the chief engineer of the USS Enterprise D, known for his intelligence, problem-solving skills, and iconic visor that helped him see. Born in 1957, Burton was 30 when Star Trek: The Next Generation premiered in 1987. Before The Next Generation, he was already famous for his role in Roots, 1977, and as the beloved host of Reading Rainbow. After The Next Generation, he continued acting, directing Star Trek episodes, and advocating for literacy. Now in 2025, at 68 years old, Burton remains an influential voice in entertainment, education, and the Star Trek community. Marina Sirtis portrayed Counselor Deanna Troi, the empathic half-betazoid who guided the crew of the USS Enterprise D with her wisdom and compassion. Born in 1955, she was 32 when Star Trek: The Next Generation debuted in 1987. After The Next Generation, Sirtis continued acting in TV and film, appearing in NCIS, Grey's Anatomy, and voice acting in Gargoyles. She also reprised her role as Troi in Star Trek: Picard. Now in 2025, at 70 years old, Sirtis remains active in the Star Trek community, attending conventions and connecting with fans worldwide. Brent Spiner played Lieutenant Commander Data, the android officer of the USS Enterprise D, who longed to understand humanity. Born in 1949, Spiner was 38 when Star Trek: The Next Generation began in 1987. His portrayal of Data became one of the most beloved characters in Star Trek history. After The Next Generation, Spiner appeared in films like Independence Day and had roles in TV shows like Warehouse 13 and The Big Bang Theory. He reprised Data multiple times, including in Star Trek: Picard. Now in 2025, at 76 years old, Spiner continues acting and engaging with fans at conventions. Michael Dorn played Lieutenant Worf, the first Klingon officer in Starfleet and the fierce but loyal security chief of the USS Enterprise D. Born in 1952, Dorn was 35 when Star Trek: The Next Generation premiered in 1987. He later continued Worf's journey in Star Trek: Deep Space Nine, making him the most featured character in Star Trek history. After The Next Generation, Dorn built a successful career in voice acting, lending his deep voice to shows like Gargoyles and Justice League. He reprised Worf in Star Trek: Picard, and now in 2025, at 73 years old, he remains a beloved figure in sci-fi and regularly attends Star Trek events. Gates McFadden played Dr. Beverly Crusher, the chief medical officer of the USS Enterprise D, known for her intelligence, compassion, and close friendship with Captain Picard. Born in 1949, she was 38 when Star Trek: The Next Generation began in 1987. After The Next Generation, McFadden continued acting in TV and theater, while also working as a choreographer. She reprised Dr. Crusher in Star Trek: Picard Season 3, bringing the character back into the spotlight. Now in 2025, at 76 years old, she remains active in acting, directing, and appearing at Star Trek conventions to connect with fans. Majel Barrett provided the voice for the iconic computer aboard the USS Enterprise D, and also played Nurse Chapel in the original Star Trek series. Born in 1932, Barrett was 55 when Star Trek: The Next Generation premiered in 1987, adding her voice to the series' technological heart. Beyond The Next Generation, Barrett continued her association with Star Trek, voicing the ship's computer in later Star Trek series and films, and appeared in various TV roles. Tragically, Barrett passed away in 2008 at the age of 76 from complications related to cancer. She remains a beloved figure in Star Trek history. Wil Wheaton played Wesley Crusher, the young and brilliant son of Dr. Beverly Crusher, who served as an ensign aboard the USS Enterprise D. Born in 1972, Wheaton was just 15 when Star Trek: The Next Generation began in 1987. His character was often at the center of moral dilemmas and growth, which made him a unique part of the crew. After The Next Generation, Wheaton became an advocate for geek culture, appearing in shows like The Big Bang Theory and Tabletop, a web series he created. Now in 2025, at 53 years old, Wheaton continues to thrive in media, hosting podcasts, writing, and engaging with his large fan base. Colm Meaney played Chief Miles O'Brien, the hard-working and often underappreciated transporter chief aboard the USS Enterprise D. Born in 1953, Meaney was 34 when he first appeared on Star Trek: The Next Generation in 1987, later becoming a main character on Star Trek: Deep Space Nine as the station's chief of operations. After The Next Generation, Meaney's career flourished, with roles in films like The Commitments and Con Air, as well as TV shows like Hell on Wheels. Now in 2025, at 72 years old, Meaney continues to act, taking on various film and television projects while remaining a fan favorite in the Star Trek universe. Denise Crosby portrayed Lieutenant Natasha Yar, the tough and dedicated chief of security aboard the USS Enterprise D. Born in 1957, Crosby was 30 when Star Trek: The Next Generation began in 1987. Although her character was tragically killed off in the first season, Yar's death left a lasting impact on the crew and fans alike. After leaving The Next Generation, Crosby pursued a successful career in TV and film, appearing in shows like The Outer Limits and Charmed. In 2025, at 68 years old, Crosby continues to act and remains active in the Star Trek community, often attending conventions and engaging with fans. Whoopi Goldberg played Guinan, the wise and mysterious bartender aboard the USS Enterprise D, who often offered counsel to the crew, especially Captain Picard. Born in 1955, Goldberg was 32 when she first appeared on Star Trek: The Next Generation in 1988, quickly becoming a fan-favorite character with her unique perspective and timeless wisdom. After The Next Generation, Goldberg became a celebrated actress, winning an Academy Award for Ghost and hosting The View. She also reprised her role as Guinan in Star Trek: Picard. Now in 2025, at 70 years old, Goldberg continues her successful career in entertainment and is known for her advocacy, comedy, and acting. Diana Muldaur played Dr. Catherine Pulaski, the no-nonsense chief medical officer who temporarily replaced Dr. Beverly Crusher in Star Trek: The Next Generation during the second season. Born in 1934, Muldaur was 50 when she joined the show in 1988. Pulaski's tough exterior and deep knowledge made her a strong addition to the Enterprise D crew, though she only appeared for one season. After The Next Generation, Muldaur continued her acting career, with notable roles in LA Law and The Practice. In 2025, at 86 years old, Muldaur has retired from acting but remains a respected figure in the Star Trek legacy. Patti Yasutake portrayed Nurse Alyssa Ogawa, the compassionate nurse aboard the USS Enterprise D, known for her dedication to the crew's well-being. Born in 1953, Yasutake was in her 30s when she first appeared on Star Trek: The Next Generation in the later seasons. Yasutake's role as Ogawa made her a beloved character among Star Trek fans, and she continued acting in other TV and film projects after The Next Generation. Unfortunately, Patti Yasutake passed away in 2024 at the age of 70. Her legacy as a part of the Star Trek family will continue to inspire fans. Dennis Madalone appeared as an Ansata terrorist in the Star Trek The Next Generation episode, The Hunted. Born in 1954, Madalone was 33 years old when he starred in the 1990 episode, portraying one of the antagonists who challenges Captain Picard and the crew. Though his role was brief, Madalone's performance left a memorable mark on fans. After his role in The Next Generation, Madalone worked as a stuntman and stunt coordinator, contributing to many high-profile TV shows and films, including Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and The X-Files. As of 2025, Madalone, now 70, continues to be involved in the stunt and entertainment industry, sharing his expertise and knowledge with younger professionals. Michelle Forbes portrayed Ensign Ro Laren, a rebellious and strong-willed Bajoran officer who served aboard the USS Enterprise D during the 5th season of Star Trek, The Next Generation. Born in 1965, Forbes was 22 when she first appeared in 1991. Ro's character was complex, struggling with her loyalty to Starfleet while dealing with the trauma of her past. After The Next Generation, Forbes had a successful career, starring in shows like Battlestar Galactica, The Killing, and True Blood. In 2025, at 60 years old, Forbes continues to act, taking on various roles in TV and film, while occasionally appearing in Star Trek-related projects. Rosalind Chao played Keiko O'Brien, the compassionate and intelligent botanist who initially served as a crew member aboard the USS Enterprise D and later became the wife of Chief Miles O'Brien. Born in 1957, Chao was 30 when she first appeared in Star Trek: The Next Generation in 1990. Keiko's character was notable for balancing her professional life with her family, particularly as a mother. After The Next Generation, Chao continued acting in various TV shows and films, including roles in The West Wing, ER, and The Joy Luck Club. Now, in 2025, at 68 years old, she remains active in the industry and continues to participate in Star Trek events, reflecting on her role in the beloved franchise. John de Lancie portrayed Q, the mischievous, omnipotent being who often tested and challenged Captain Picard and the crew of the Enterprise D. Born in 1948, de Lancie was 39 when he first appeared in 1987. Q's presence brought chaos, humor, and philosophical questions, making him one of the most iconic characters in Star Trek lore. After The Next Generation, de Lancie continued to embrace his role as Q, reprising it in Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Picard. He also had notable roles in TV shows like Breaking Bad and The Twilight Zone. Now, in 2025, at 77 years old, de Lancie remains a fan-favorite actor, regularly attending conventions and continuing to work on various projects. Brian Bonsall played Alexander Rosenko, the young son of Lieutenant Worf in Star Trek: The Next Generation. Born in 1981, Bonsall was just 6 years old when he first appeared on the show in 1989. Alexander's character, caught between his Klingon heritage and his human upbringing, was often at the center of emotional and cultural challenges, providing a unique look at Worf's personal life. After The Next Generation, Bonsall transitioned into acting in film and TV, including a role in Family Ties. However, he eventually stepped away from acting in the late 90s. As of 2025, at 44 years old, Bonsall has maintained a low public profile and is not currently involved in the entertainment industry. Dwight Schultz portrayed Reginald Barclay, a socially awkward but brilliant Starfleet officer who often struggled with self-confidence and interpersonal relationships. Born in 1947, Schultz was 40 when he first appeared on Star Trek: The Next Generation in 1988. Barclay's character evolved from a nervous, introverted engineer to a more confident and important member of the crew, especially in his later appearances on Star Trek: Voyager. After The Next Generation, Schultz had a successful career in TV, voice acting, and film, with notable roles in the A-Team and Star Trek: Voyager. In 2025, at 78 years old, Schultz continues to be involved in voice work and enjoys a career in both acting and narrating audiobooks, while occasionally attending Star Trek conventions. Robert O'Reilly played Gowron, the ambitious and often volatile leader of the Klingon Empire, in Star Trek: The Next Generation and Star Trek: Deep Space Nine. Born in 1950, O'Reilly was 37 when he first portrayed Gowron in 1990. His character's rise to power and frequent clashes with Star Trek's protagonists made him one of the most memorable Klingon figures in the franchise. After his Star Trek appearances, O'Reilly continued to act in TV shows and films, often in roles that involved leadership or intensity. In 2025, at 75 years old, O'Reilly remains active in the entertainment industry and is known for participating in Star Trek conventions, reliving his iconic portrayal of Gowron. Carel Struycken portrayed Mr. Hom, the silent and towering attendant to Lwaxana Troi in Star Trek: The Next Generation. Born in 1948, Struycken was 39 when he first appeared in the role in 1987. With his unique presence and comedic timing, Mr. Hom became a fan-favorite character despite rarely speaking. Beyond Star Trek, Struycken is widely known for playing Lurch in the Addams Family films and for his mysterious role in Twin Peaks: The Return. In 2025, at 77 years old, Struycken is still admired for his iconic roles and occasionally makes appearances at fan conventions celebrating his memorable characters. Thanks for watching. See you next time.